Hello everybody. So today at 12 a.m. on the dot, Canon announced the long-awaited 5D Mark IV. Let's talk about it. Welcome back everybody. My name is Eric Marks with FindingMiddleEarth.com, and today's video is going to be all about this new Canon 5D Mark IV. So back when I was shooting weddings, I used the 5D Mark III. And I actually have a video coming up about this because I know I have a few videos on my channel where I'm using Sony and somewhere I'm using Canon, somewhere I'm using Nikon. And so a ton of people think that I've just switched brands 3 times, but I didn't. I have 2 kits. I have my Nikon kit, which I've always had, and then I have a second kit that I kind of use as experimental kit. So I kind of switch it out with different brands and see what works. So I'll go into that later in a different video. But I did use the 5D Mark III for an entire year when I was shooting weddings, and I didn't really have any problems with it, honestly. I thought it was a great camera for weddings. It was in portraiture. It was 20 megapixels, which is easily good enough. The noise levels were very good, the high ISO capability. The autofocus was lightning fast. I've never really complained about Canon autofocus. It's always been pretty superior to Nikon autofocus. And just kind of notoriously, actually, Canon and Nikon, Canon has always had the upper hand on megapixels and typically autofocus. It just kind of depends on the models. And then Nikon has always kind of had the upper hand on dynamic range and low light capability. So, you know, you could always crank the shadows up an insane amount on all your Nikon cameras and you'd get very, very low noise. So those are kind of the, the 2 brands that are, the 2 things about Nikon and Canon that they've always kind of had, on each brand that are kind of competing against each other. And so if you were a landscape person, you would typically go with Nikon because their dynamic range is insane. And if you did portraits, you would go with Canon for various reasons. But really, any camera this day and time will be fine. But my point to that is the 5D Mark III was kind of a good mixture between kind of a good compromise between the faults of Canon and Nikon together, because the Canon 5D Mark III doesn't have amazing dynamic range, but when I was shooting weddings with it, I could pull out I could dig into the shadows pretty good, much better than I could on like a 5D Mark II or something. So anyway, so I'm not going to go over like spec by spec because there's already a million videos right at midnight that have already done that. B&H Photo, Adorama, there's all these other guys that have done the specs. I'm just going to kind of tell you what I think about the camera, because every single time that a camera like this releases, no matter what brand it is, I'm always kind of taken by surprise as to how many YouTube messages and emails I get asking me, Eric, should I switch? Should I sell all my stuff and switch to this new Canon or switch to the Sony? And so that's why I always try to make a video whenever a new camera releases, because there's just so many emails asking me what they should do, and my answer is pretty much always the same. I guess it's, in short, do what's going to work for you. I don't know what kind of photography you shoot. I don't know if you're landscape or sports or, people photography, whatever you do. But I will tell you that if you have, tens of thousands of dollars invested in, say, Sony lenses or Nikon lenses, this camera is nothing to switch brands over. My initial thoughts on the camera are that it's going to be a little bit better than the 5D Mark III. I like the fact that the native ISO on the camera now goes up to 32,000. That's nice, so I'm sure you're going to get a stop to a stop and a half better ISO performance from the 5D Mark IV, which is great because the 5D Mark III was already pretty darn good at low noise, high ISO capability. The autofocus is brand new. You got the new 61 point, the dual pixel AF. And I really like that because really no one but Canon has been able to really achieve that buttery smooth live view focus that so many vloggers use. Tons of vloggers have picked up the Canon 70D and the 80D because of this dual pixel autofocus they have. It's just buttery smooth the way it kind of racks the focus from subject to subject. So tons of vloggers use those cameras because of that. So I'm excited to see that. In the 5D Mark IV. The megapixel is 30 megapixels. Now, this is kind of split views because I've read just since midnight 12 a.m. today, I've read so many different forums and hopped online and seen that, groups of people saying that, oh, it should have been way more megapixels, and people saying that they should have kept it the same amount of megapixels so that they could get more low light out of it. I think 30 is a good spot, honestly. I think 30 megapixels was a pretty good spot because it's more than it was. It was 20 megapixels, so you're gaining some good resolution there. If you're going to buy this for weddings, I'd say it's really good because it's going to give you some extra cropping capability and still be able to deliver some larger prints if you want to. And then obviously the autofocus system is going to help a lot for portraiture and event photography. I really think, if I could guess, I would say the 5D series, has always been kind of geared towards either videographers or event photographers. I think the 5D series, like 5D Mark II, Mark III, and now the Mark IV, is like the perfect wedding photography camera. Just because it's got great build quality, it's got great autofocus and low light, lightning speed autofocus with acceptable lighting. It's got great noise, like I said, low noise at higher ISOs. I think it's just a really good event camera. It's very versatile. But a lot of people were, I'm mainly a landscape photographer, so a lot of people were asking me what I thought about it for landscapes now that they had this jump in resolution, and my answer is, sure. If you have a 5D Mark III and you want to upgrade to this thing because it has 4K video now and some extra bells and whistles in the autofocus and ISO department, go ahead. I mean, it's going to be great for landscape, sure. It's not going to be the best because the Nikon still has the 36 megapixels. For $200 more than this camera, you can get Canon's 5D SR, which has 50 megapixels. And not that the Canon 5D SR is a superior camera, it's just going to be superior for landscapes because of the extra resolution there. It's 20 more megapixels to play with. So those are just some things to think about. I don't think there was anything revolutionary here. That's kind of the point that I'm getting at. I don't think that this camera blew, at least it didn't blow my mind. I'm sure there's some Canon fanboys out there that are freaking out over this. But the thing that I'm really, not a huge fan of Canon of doing is that most of their releases in the past, probably, 5, 6, 7, 8 years have just been kind of playing the catch-up game to other brands. And Nikon finally started to step it up when they started releasing the D810 series. But yeah, that's just Canon. I feel like Canon is always just kind of playing catch up because when I saw this launch at midnight and I started looking at the 4K video and the Wi-Fi and NFC and all these other capabilities, it has a touch screen too, so that's nice. When I started seeing all these capabilities, I was like, it's just the standard stuff now that's considered what a camera should have. So, yeah, it's a good camera. Congratulations that Canon can keep up with the times, but it's not revolutionary. It's not doing anything. Actually, I texted my buddy Joseph, and he actually put it in a very good way. He said it doesn't do anything to push the market forward, right? It doesn't do anything to push the photography market forward. It doesn't give you this new glimpse on, wow, that has the potential to be amazing in another 2 or 3 models. This is like the start of something new, right? But when the D800 series launched and we saw that they were able to fit 36 megapixels into a decently low light capable and good autofocusing camera, we were all like, wow, this has the potential to be amazing in the future. And then they started, talking about, now these rumors are that the next Nikon is going to be 70, 80 megapixels. And so, and then Canon has the 50 megapixels. So those are like more of the revolutionary things. And by the way, I'm not saying that the 5DSR was revolutionary. It was just a high megapixel jump with crappy low light capability. But my point is that this isn't a revolutionary launch of a camera. I don't see anything here that makes me want to even try the camera out against another camera or something like the Sony cameras where Sony's got some really great technology and they really make you excited about what is going to come of mirrorless cameras. But I still think the mirrorless world has some things to work on as far as, battery life and things like that. But I'm waiting for one of the DSLR companies to make this revolutionary jump that is going to make me really excited. And the last time I was really excited about something is when Nikon released the D800 series. That's when I just, I really got excited. I really just could not wait to order it and have it in my hands and play with it. And You know, because new gear to photographers is like toys. It's like toys to a kid on Christmas. And so we want to get our hands on this stuff and play with it and, you know, mess with all the new features. So I think personally that the Nikon D850 or whatever they're going to call it, the successor to the D810 that is supposedly coming out next month at Photokina, don't know, but I think that is going to be a revolutionary jump in technology. I think it's going to have an insanely high resolution sensor with really good autofocus, with really good low light capability, with the Wi-Fi and touchscreen and all. I mean, I think it's going to be everything that I've been wanting for years. So I'm excited for that. This is cool, right? I'm not bashing this, so please don't think this video is to tear this camera down. Again, I think it's better than the 5D Mark III, as it should be. I think it's a nice jump. It's nothing revolutionary, but I think wedding photographers, portrait photographers, they're all going to love it. And even if you shoot landscape, it's fine. It's just, it's not the best for that. That's what I'm trying to tell to all my viewers, because I had a lot of emails asking about this because people were wondering about the dynamic range, and it's still, you know, nothing as near what the dynamic range is on the D810, and it's nothing like the dynamic range is going to be on the next jump. I can't wait to see what the dynamic range is on that. So yeah, I think all in all, it's a good camera. It's got some nice features. One thing I don't like about it is that they still have a compact flash card and SD card slot. I don't know why they didn't just go ahead and make it dual SD card slots, now that kind of everything in the future is pushing towards mainly SD. So yeah, it still has compact flash. I don't really get that. I don't know why they just didn't do dual SD. So yeah, let me know if you guys have any other questions or any input at all. I just wanted to make this quick video of my opinion. Keep in mind, by the way, this is only my opinion on the camera. And maybe we can start a cool discussion about it in the comments. And if you guys know any rumors about some of the new Sony stuff or Nikon stuff that's going to be out at Photokina next month, let me know. I'm super excited about that. I can't wait. It's like Christmas for me. It really is. I'm going to be following the Photokina event second by second. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. If you would like to stay up to date on all of my latest photography videos and adventures, click the big subscribe button below. And if you would like to find out more about me and how to become a great photographer, visit my website at findingmiddleearth.com.